Alright, welcome back to these trading videos. Took a little time off to basically get my strategy kind of lined up so we can do things well here. So I shouldn't have deleted these all, but I did, and that's what we did. But anyways, we'll just go into it as we would. So setting up the curve. There's going to be 2 videos coming out today. Probably won't seem like it for you, but it will for me because I got to make the curve video that I didn't make yesterday. Sorry if there's a lot of noise in the background, but the little one's we're having a birthday party today that we got to get ready for. So basically on here, what I do is I find a weekly swing lows and the breakouts of those swing lows. And then I zoom in on the, so this is wrong. Sometimes I get these mixed up, just confused. But I find the weekly breakouts and stuff. Fine. And then I go and find the daily supply and demand areas on there for the curve. This is more of a level on level, so we'll just do that. Make it yellow. All right. Then we go ahead and make the curve. All right, so that's the curve. And then from there, we do the same thing, but we do it for the 240 levels. If you got this new guitar, you can probably hear it in the background. Hold on. Alright, so we just do the same thing, but I use the gray lines just for just to separate the colors. Makes it easier for me to know what I'm looking at. So really, that's the breakout. Look, price actually came down into there. So then any zone above the breakout is a good one to look at. So that would be the zone on this chart. The gray line's pretty much right where it needs to be. There we go. That's pretty much it. That's setting up the curve. Then we'll do the same thing on the pound and all of the rest of the pairs as well. Not really all that exciting stuff, to be honest, but I don't know. I think I've said this before. Trading is quite boring once you break it down into what it is. It's just looking at charts and doing the same things over and over and over again. And the pound, that's right, is at all-time lows. So I'm not really looking for any 240 demand because the way I look at it, there isn't any. There's no daily breakouts to the upside that are available. But what these will do is once price comes into here, look for that divergence on the 60 on the RSI, and then the 820 cross. Once it comes into a higher time frame level, such as the 240 or the daily. Otherwise, what happens is you end up just catching a falling knife or whatever a reverse falling knife would be, and then it cuts your hand, and then you lose money, and it's stupid. So going to be pretty goofy. I'm pretty sure it's still trading inside that range, which we'll get to in the next video that I make after the curve. The guitar is going to disappear. Some of these, honestly, I should just leave, like, on there. See, so since the beginning of time, Forex wasn't really that popular, apparently. No highs, there's no lows. I think this might actually just be filled in data. I don't really know what it is. Yeah, so it's pretty, I mean, it's pretty boring stuff. Sorry that this isn't very entertaining. That's mostly because it's not. It's not, it's a boring kind of thing. Especially when you've done it like fucking 100,000 times. But eventually you figure out what works and then you just do that. That's probably the closest thing we're going to find. 240 demand. But yeah, see, so right here, then you get the cross, and then, I don't know, at this point, the entry would be that candle. Probably put your stop down here. First target here. Second target there, like 1 to 1, 2 to 1. But yeah. So for me, so there we go. So the breakout crossed through the area of or supply right there. So I don't use that. The areas that I choose have to be like all the way above or all the way below for supply or demand, whatever's being looked at. All right. Yep. So yeah, all these 240 levels are areas that I'm interested in for watching the divergence and then the 20 period 820 cross. That's been working pretty well, and I've noticed that once it crosses in those like areas, it goes and goes and goes. But I haven't really decided yet if it needs to be a 240 level or not. I don't really think it does. Okay. Yep. I have been looking at some stuff. I saw this thing on the Facebook group actually that I'm part of, and I've been watching some of the T3 guys. This pit trader named Rob Smith, or In the Black with Rob, I think his YouTube channel's called, and his like podcasts and stuff, and his classes that he has. But talking about the truth, and it can't be subjective. So I think, for me at least, this is my version of that. Like, there's hard defined rules. There's no subjectivity. You're able to say it either is or it is not something based on the data given to you, which I think is very true and a good way to look at things. The way that Rob guy trades, though, it's just candlesticks. So he'll do like this inside bar, outside bar thing, or yeah. It's like a 3, there's a 3, a 2, a 1 in the setups. It's pretty interesting stuff. He uses like the monthly, the weekly, the daily, and the 60-minute chart. I don't quite understand it, but I've only looked at a couple of his videos. Read his little book, and it's like, it seems pretty good. Seems like interesting stuff. Yeah, I think this is my version of this is what's true for me. After trading supply and demand for so long, and then finally getting something that I can, call my truth. I think it's pretty powerful stuff. There's this other thing I'm following too called K2 Trades. I found him on Instagram. He seems to be pretty good as well, and I was like, if this doesn't work for me, I'm gonna just do that because that guy seems to kill it. He's got this like special indicator thing he uses. He does. That's kind of also where I got the 1-for-1 or 1-to-1. Well, more like confirmation and confirm the 1-for-1 or like the taking, smaller profit targets and stuff. But it's not. I mean, it's not the first time I've heard it. Or this other guy, Austin Silver FX, does like the 15. His whole thing is like 15 pips. He does. But his first target. You used to talk about that quite frequently. So yeah, here's an example. You got that touched into the zone. Kind of fell away. Cross there. There's the trade. Stop above there. 1-to-1. It would have hit target 1. Well, this is the cat. I was trading this actually last week. I was trying to get this cross. I think one of these candles, one of these areas, but it never I had a sell stop, but it never got triggered to the downside. Probably right here where I put the order. That's the cross down, so I probably put the order right here, and it never went down. I think she's brushing the little one's hair in there. She does not like having her hair brushed because it hurts. But, you know, she also is 3 turning 4, so that's kind of exciting. So this is another thing he does. That Rob guy, Rob Smith, he does like these expanding range. The stuff, I don't really understand it or how to trade it or how he does it, but he does like, he'll do like this expanded range thing. So if like the range is getting like that foghorn kind of pattern. Yeah, I don't really get it. But whatever. Pip traders guy, man. They are something else. It's not a bad thing though. Alright, so following the rule that the candles are 50% candles or they're closing inside the range of the other candles, that would be our zone. Here's another one. If you just took it low on the curve here, or even this one, I came into supply, did its thing, cross. That would be the entry candle right after the cross. When it opens, stop above there, you probably definitely have hit your 2 to 1 right there. For sure. Alright, so that's the dollar franc. Moving on to the 2 yen pairs I trade. Used to trade like 4 or 5 of them, but they all mostly look the same. And I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of doing the same exact freaking thing. It's super annoying. So another thing with the so I'll just put that there. This one there. Another thing with this though is the closes. This is the thing I learned from Rick. The closes have to close outside the range of the previous candle. Otherwise, that's more of the trend thing, and we'll get into that in the next video. I have been taking like these areas too, where it's not a basing, but it does close inside. I told you, it does work really, really well. I gotta find command. See, when it does this, like, I get kind of confused. It's okay. Just kidding. I was at my aunt's this weekend, and I remember, what's his name? Bob Dunn had this, like, joke he kind of had. He's like, you want to make $1 million in the markets? Start with 2. I don't know, I just thought that was funny. Because I met my cousin's boyfriend, who traded, and he was up, like, a couple dollars over the summer. Like, $3 he made. I was talking to him about it. So I told him that. I'm like, listen, man, you want to make $1 million in the market? Start with 2. Pit trader told me that. And oh, how true that can be. So for this little basing, I would count. It's actually no. It's like a level on level kind of deal here, even right there. But yeah, this little basing is part, like these speed bumps, like the Sam Evans like little speed bumps. I call those just part of the move away. Like it's only got one candle. Like yeah, that's just part of it. I don't really like know how to break those down at all. But here's you go. Here's another pretty good example. So comes up, hits the daily, and then the 240 level. The cross, your entry would be the open candle here. Stop might have to go up here, above the swing. You can even probably do like above the leg-in candle if you want. So above the swing, 220-ish points. Definitely would have hit target 1. Be still in it, but you did have the cross here. But yeah, we're gonna find the land area. I think just trading MA moving average crosses has its own set of issues, because if you just trade the crosses, like sell and buy when it crosses, and that's your exit strategy as well, I don't think that's a really good idea. You're definitely going to give money back to the markets. Hopefully this week I'll start my T3 stuff. Pretty excited about that. And be able to fund that account. And then I'll probably take some of their courses and stuff if I can. So they got like their online trade floors and stuff that they do. Maybe pick up some actual like day trading stuff, because I think once I can finally I don't know that I'll quit my job, quit the electrician gig, because it is a pretty good gig, and I want to be, kind of handy, I guess you could say, have like a base knowledge on how to fix things properly. But within like my 5-year goal would be to at least hit my same income, or I should say within 5 years. So I did the math. In 2 years, if you do 10% a month, that'll be $100,000 on a $10,000 account, which is pretty powerful stuff. So hopefully we can get into hitting that 10% a month-ish pretty well. Yeah, within 2 years, I'd like to match at least my income just trading. See if we can break out, though. The breakout to the downside, there really isn't one, because these closes are inside, so this is just one up move right here. So it gets kind of tricky sometimes, but I will work something off here, probably this. Boom. Boom. It's almost done here, coming up on 30 minutes almost. Before we get into the trend, I like making the trend. The trend videos and the trading videos are like my favorite ones. Love that. I like making the trend. Like that, dude, that by itself changed my trading and changed my life. Everyone's always said, too, like, you gotta know how to do the trend. You gotta know how to do the trend. That it's non-negotiable to be a good trader. I'm like, damn. So if you can find a good way to, identify the trend, that'll probably change your trading. If you're not getting the results that you want. I know, for me, I'm 7 years into it. And I learned between what Rick taught me about the closes one time, came up with that strategy to get the closes, and that's where your trend is. And we were talking about that. mixed with the Kayla Christine stuff on how to like market. With the boxes, that was oh, I can't even explain it, dude. That was life changing. I was actually about to quit trading, dude, just altogether. I didn't trade for a few months. I kind of got back into it when I was in Texas doing this like 2 chart, like trend line break retest on a daily and a 240. And I fucking, dude, that was definitely came in waves though. That strategy, it would work and then it wouldn't, and then yeah, that worked really well. And then it would not work really well, but it's a good start. It's a good start. I definitely spent a lot of time learning trend and then some time in the core strategy stuff. And I put it all together, and then I lost it, and then I put it all together again, and then I lost it, and I put it all together again, and then I lost it, and now I think I got a pretty good thing going as far as just trading supply and demand. My most recent challenge was finding those curve levels, like these 240 levels, and how to trade those properly, because it's not the same as like the regular trend. But we'll see how things go this week. The last 2 weeks have been positive. Last week would have been better, but I closed everything before that non-farm payroll news came out. So I was like, you know what? This could be bad. But it wasn't, and I should have just stayed with that. Because I heard like the Austin Silver guy, he was talking about he's not trading. And I'm like, you know, he's a pretty good trader. I guess I won't trade too. But I should have just stuck to my guns because I don't really give a shit about the news. Like, for me, if this had 2 candles in it, that would be like, what's it called? Consolidation, or the balance of supply and demand or whatever. But since it's just 1 candle and it's part of that move, I just don't count it as like its own. It might work, and that might be, you know, other people's strategies, but for me, no. I just they do work sometimes, but for me, I just would rather call that a part of the move. Once we get into the Aussie too, there's that move and control stuff. That's the money maker. This move would actually be the entire thing, and that would be the breakout. Oh, this is pretty messy. Probably this is a level on level. We only got 2 more pairs, but now you can even do like high on the curve, I guess. Like, bam, you get the cross, you open, We'd definitely still be waiting on this one though. Alright, so go back to CAD, find the breakout here. That's my fiance watching TV that I'm sure you can hear. Her phone is incredibly loud. It's really good for a phone speaker. She's got some kind of iPhone, but I got an Android because everything I don't, Droid does. She just looks at me. We have this constant feud of what's better all the time. Sometimes, like, we got Apple TV on our Samsung TV and it won't work sometimes. So I'm like, oh, it's an Apple product, babe. Can't really expect much. She glares at me. That's funny. You know, after doing these videos and stuff, I'm pretty sure I gotta be one of the most unprofessional people you will ever meet in your life. They asked me what my weakness was at my job interview, and I said something. I said like electricity, because like, you know, I just overcome my weaknesses and I figure them out, and then they, you know, aren't weaknesses anymore, which definitely is not what they meant. But I definitely should have said my professionalism lacks. But you know what? I don't really give a shit what people think about me. Like, that's their business. That's their opinion. I don't really care. Everyone's entitled to their opinions. I took an oath one time in my life to defend that opinion. Even though I don't agree with it and I think it's dumb, you're still allowed to have your opinions as well. You know? And that's how we can grow together. Alright, anyways. This episode of Life Lessons with Alex. Let's see. Probably this whole level on level area. I wouldn't even say that's a level on a level. I'd say that's a level that retested a level. But it's still got a good move away. So like this, I wouldn't count that as a level, or this, I would count that as just one, like, as part of the move away. Although it did work. This did work, you know? So I guess, I mean, normally, this would be the level. So you get a level, your push, a new level, your push. This level would be part of this level, because it's kind of just so close. Just like this would actually be probably part of this. Oh my god, I'm going to break that guitar. Sorry if you can hear that. Yeah, we met our neighbors yesterday. And they also... Alright, problem solved. So yeah, that was the breakout. And then we got our level up there on the daily. Yeah. So, oops. Every time I do that. I think Coach is a little older and can like understand things. Oops. So yeah, count that as the level. Then get these gray lines up here for the 240 levels. And you'll see I came in, there's the cross, there's your entry for this one. Yeah, you just put it below like the most recent swing, 1-to-1, 2-to-1 that bad boy. You have a nice winning trade right there. All right, and that'll conclude our curve session for the day. Now we got to get on the trend and setting up some actual trades. So I'm gonna stop this recording. Spill Monster all over myself and get going with the trend. So bye.